Hello, Flosstube. It is time for my January recap. Let's see if I can speak today. Today is February 2nd. I was not able to film yesterday on the 1st because my husband was sleeping on the couch snoring, and I didn't think you needed to hear that. And we had company for a while, so it would have been tight to get it fit in yesterday. So it's the 2nd. So really the only thing I worked on my Wise and the Brave, which you'll see a little bit last night, but other than that, everything's like it was at the end of January. So I have my notes down here, so you may see me looking down there. If you are new on my channel, you will find both cross stitch and paper crafting videos. So if it says Flosstube, it's cross stitch, which is what you found today. If it says Facebook Live, those are my crafting ones, and Paper Pumpkin, those are my paper crafting ones. So welcome if you've been here before, or if you're new, welcome. And let's just get right into it. I usually don't mess around. We just get right to the stitching. So I have started something new for how I work on things this year. I was doing temperature stitching. I was trying to do this and that, and it felt like too much. So now, and like with temperature stitching, I was just doing 100 stitches and then I'd have to put it away. And I wanted to make more progress, even if it was on fewer projects. So I have a wheel, and I have 15 spots on that wheel, and I spin it and I work on that project for 500 stitches, and then I spin again. So it might be a couple of days, it might be 4 days if I've got other things I have to work on. But that's what I'm doing this year, and so far I liked it. In the month of January, I felt like I got more progress than I had previously. So let's get right into it. My wheels, well, these are not wheel spins. The first two are not wheel spins. So this is my Stitches So Beautiful Snow Queen. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. So I do their stitch along every month, and if you stitch at least 250 full cross stitches every month, then you get a free pattern at the end. So this month I did 1,066 stitches, and that's where I am now. So you're starting to see some of the lighter spots. I can't wait till I get down a little farther on this one, but I'm going to work on it again this month in February for the stitch along again. Try and put everything back so it's not a complete disaster when I'm done. Let me scoot this a little bit closer so I'm not having to lean over so much. All right, next is the burst sampler that I'm doing for my granddaughter, and this is one I was trying to work on every day. She is 3 months old, excuse me, today, so I do need to get this done. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. I got it off of Etsy, and I did 964 stitches on this. And this is on a 32 count Me Amour by Fortnite Fabrics, which they are not dyeing anymore. But I was in their Fabric of the Month club for a little while, so I got this. And this one is 56.48% done. So I'm getting there. But working on it just a little bit every day. I've finished this flower and all of this down here. So I'm making progress on it. I'm hoping to make some good progress this week. The Snow Queen is on a 28 count easy guide, 1/1 full cross. I forgot to tell you that. And it is only at 1.52% done. Okay, now we're getting into my wheel spins, and these are not in the order of the wheel spins. They're just how I pulled them. I've got the new, it's not new to me, rainbow. It's the Excel thing you can get off Etsy from Rainbow something, and so that helped me get ready for my Flosstube. I didn't have to do as much counting and adding as I normally do. All right, this is Nature's Journey, and we have all the parts now, so I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like when it's done. And I did 622 stitches, so a little bit over my 500, and this is on 32 count vellum from Picture This Plus. And so I went, since it was winter, I worked down, this is the whole, everything I have done. So I've got a good portion of spring. It's not done, there's still some over here. But then I went down and worked, let me just show you that a little bit closer, on winter. So I carried, this is like the inside where all the moss are. So I carried this down so I could start on this winter part. So then hopefully as I work on this, I can work on in the season. So while it's winter, I'll work on here. And then in March, I'll go back up to spring. So that's my plan. I plan to keep it on my wheel for a while until I get it done, or I'm so tired of it, I need to put it away for a little while. All right. Another wheel spin was Extraordinary Birds. This is a Lola Crow. I'm gonna have to put a picture in on this one too. Stitch along from last year, and I did well for a while, and then other things got in the way and I just didn't get it done. So I've got it on my wheel also. So let me show you everything. This is on 32 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. I did not have the Bee Stitch Me. So I have a little bit, I don't have the whole frame done, but I do have that top part. So I've got a good chunk done, but still a lot to do. I think it's, I didn't write down what percentage it is at. I did 586 stitches, and I did this little guy down here and these flowers, and then filled out in whatever was missing in there. So because I have the whole piece now in Pattern Keeper, I won't do it necessarily by section. I'll just kind of work my way up. And again, this one will stay on my wheel until I get it done, or I'm tired of it and need a break. So hopefully we can get both of those done this year, but we'll see. All right. Next wheel spin, Winter Friends. This is an Autumn Lane stitchery. I'll put a picture in. I'm having to put lots of pictures in this time. Autumn Lane stitchery. It is on 32 count. It's from Picture This Plus, Crystal Helix. And usually 32 count, I don't have to use my magnifier, but this crystal one I do. It's kind of it's like Picture This Plus is, it's tighter, and the opalescent makes it hard to see where the threads are. So I do have to use my magnifier on this one. So I did 568 stitches on this one. So I filled in this green, did this red, did the snowflake. I can't remember if I had that whole holly leaf done. But once I got the snowflake in there, you can't see it very well. So I thought, well, I'm going to fill in some of this green so it shows up better. All right. And this one will stay on my wheel for one more month. So I've kind of made my wheel seasonal, except for the things like Nature's Journey and Extraordinary Birds that I want to work on anyway. All right, Woodland Winter. This is another Autumn Lane stitchery, and I'll have to put another picture in of what it's going to look like. And I did, so here's the whole thing. 544 stitches this month, and it is on Picture This Plus 32 count Twilight. And that's where it is. So I'm working on the second to the last part, so I worked up here. So all of that part is what I did this month. And this one is nice to have to work on in the daytime, since it's a darker fabric. Again, it will stay out one more month. I do my seasons just by the calendar, not by the actual official season. All right, next is Shabby Winter Calendar. I'll have to put a picture in of what it's going to look like. This is by, I think this is Rebecca Corey. Let me see. Well, I'm going to put a picture in because this one doesn't really do a very good job because they printed on a white, so everything that's white they made blue. So I'll put a picture in that will look better. All right, well, let me show you the stitching. And this is on 32 count pearl gray from Witchelt. So let me see if I can show you everything first. So this is what I have done in total. And then this month I finished this ice skater and then started on this snow globe. And I've been doing the back stitch as I go, just so I don't have so much to do at the end. So hopefully I won't ruin any of it with my Q-snaps. Did I tell you I did 522 stitches? Can't remember if I told you that. All right. Next is Frosty Forest. And I'll put a picture in of what the whole thing's going to look like because I'm doing them all on one piece of fabric. This is on, let me find my card. It is on 32 count pearl gray. So same as the last one. So I'll try and show you everything first. This is everything that I have done. So 3.5 maybe. And so that half one is what I worked on. Let me show you that a little closer. Whoops, sorry, I need to bump the table. So that I did 509 stitches on that. These are so cute. I've enjoyed getting, like this one I started, goodness. Let's see, let me find my card again and see if I know when I started it. Yeah, January 4th, 2014. So it hasn't been worked on that whole time. All right, and then I took I don't know if I took a break. Anyway, this was a break from the wheel spin when we were watching the NFL playoffs. Last weekend, I was really behind on my gridiron grind, so that's something in Full Coverage Fanatics, and you could stitch. You could do it however you want. I did a stitch per point. No, I did 10 stitches per point, sorry, for my Chiefs. Well, they haven't been playing for a while, but I guess I was disappointed, so I hadn't gotten it out for a while. So I was behind, so I had a bunch of stitches to make up. So I decided while I was watching football, I would make up my gridiron grind stitches. So this is, I have more to show you than I thought. Drinks on the Beach. So I did 366 stitches. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And I didn't write what percentage it's at either. But I've been working down in here. I've been doing Stitching Mommy's typewriter method. So I go across, but if the color goes down, I just stitch that thread down where I feel comfortable. If it's too far away, I'll just end it. So I don't know if this will come out again before Gridiron Grind next year. We'll see, but I plan on using it for my Gridiron Grind next year or later this year when NFL starts up again, and hopefully my Chiefs will do better this year. All right, and then I think this is, nope, two more wheel spins, and then a couple of new starts. So this was I have one of the spots on my wheel is spin my Mirabilia wheel, because I have lots of Mirabilia projects. And this was what it spun. This is Red Sugar. Oh, I have the chart. I don't have to insert a picture. This is Red Sugar. I will warn you, if you buy this, it calls for 2 water lilies. One of them is only for her shoes. So I would not, unless you just really want it, I wouldn't spend the money for that. I didn't realize that and bought it, so maybe there's a whole series, I don't remember what the series is called, Red Ladies Collection, so maybe all their shoes will use that. But this is where I am. I did 503 stitches on this. So I finished up her apron, and then I got all this red done. So that was fun. That's one of the water lilies. And that one's got enough that it's actually worth using or worth buying. All right. And then the last wheel spin, which I think actually was my first one that spun. Maybe next time I'll try and put them in order, by the order they spun. Is Winter Folk. This is from Hands On Design. So there are 4 seasons of these. This is the first one I've started. And I love these. And I did 507 stitches on this one. So here's everything. And then what I worked on is I finished the alphabet and then I did this. So I really like doing 500 stitches on everything. I can see the progress a lot more. So so far I'm really enjoying that. Now I didn't get through everything. Like I spun my wheel one last time, Friday or Saturday, and I didn't, like I said, we had company this weekend. My granddaughter was blessed at church, so my other son and his wife were down for the blessing, and so we were kind of busy this weekend. Okay, then I had 2 new starts. The first one is my Heaven and Earth Stitch Along for 2026. I'm doing Wise and the Brave, so I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And I did 3,491 stitches. And this is on 28 count easy guide, 1/1 full cross. So you can start to see some of the leaves coming in. I've seen some people that have like a whole bunch done. But my goal is to get this 6 pages done so I can get all the other stitch along charts, because there were several other ones that I wanted. I didn't get that done last year, so I'm gonna try and not have any time where a day or 2 here and there is fine while I'm working on something else, but then I want to try and catch back up, because last year I think I had a month where I hardly put any stitches in. So all right, and then the last one, my other new start, this is Spring Seasons. This is Seasons, what is it called? Seasons Dreams, the spring one. This is by Barbara Anna. Oh my, there we go, got caught. And I did 833 stitches on it. So this is all new. And it's on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha. So I am leaving this afternoon to go dog sit for my youngest son that was just down. Normally he works from home, but he needed to go into the office this week for some big meetings, and their other dog sitters were not available, and his wife teaches. So I said, yes, I can come up for a few days. So I'm going to take that one with me, and I'll take my burst sampler from my granddaughter with me, and we'll see if I can make some good progress, because I'm just going to be sitting there with the pups, and I'll have lots of stitching time. So, okay, that is all my stitching. That was 11,079 stitches total. And I stitched, now that I have this spreadsheet, I can tell you I stitched 30 days out of 31. So that's good. I'm glad. All right, then let's do plans. You've seen most of them. There's just a few to show you. So I'm doing the same thing, my wheel. So Winter Friends, I don't think I need to list them all, but the ones I said I was doing, you've seen those. There are a few I added. So there was one called Peace on Earth that I didn't get to. That was the one I spun and didn't get to stitch. And I decided it was a little too Christmassy, so I replaced it with these guys. So these are the monthly minis from Primrose Cottage, and I have 9 of them done, I think. And I'm currently working on, oh, maybe this is my last one. No, because there's more fabric in here. I may have skipped some, because I think this is this May I'm working on? Yeah, I think this is May. And these are on this one is on Heartland. So that's where I am on this one. So I wouldn't be surprised if 500 stitches finished that one. And if it's close, then I'll just finish it. And I was that way with the others when I spun them. If they were close to a good stopping point, I would just go to that stopping point. So that one I added to the wheel. And then this one, instead of having 2 spins of Mira, I decided to put Dressmaker's Daughter on there. So my original plan was to try and get this done by this fall, because my friend and I were going to go to the Shepherd's Bush retreat classes, whatever. And I wanted to take it to Jill Rensel to be framed. Sorry, I think I just bumped the table. But they're not having the retreat this year. So that kind of like, well, I don't have to get it done, but I still do want to get it done. And there's a lot left to do. So here's the whole thing. I can't see what you can see. There you go. And this year I've been working on the spring. So this one. So all of that I've done this year. So it's on my wheel, and actually it was the first one because I thought, well, I'll spin before I leave town, because if it's something I can take with me, then I'll take it with me to work on. But this is too big. I'm not going to try and take it. So that one will have to wait. And then the other one, so I spun again. I thought, okay, well, maybe the next one will be, you know, smaller. Nope, it's not. So the second one that I spun, and this was on my wheel before, it just didn't ever get spun last month, is this Festive Forest by the Blue Flower. And so this was from last year's Jingle Ball. And not last year, 2024. I forget, we're in 2026. And I didn't get to do anything with that Jingle Ball. I had signed up for this class, and I think the hands-on design class probably. And my mom got real sick, and I was just sitting with her till the end. So this is one of the ones I was working on, sitting in the rehab place with her. She had cancer. And so it took me a while to get this one back out, but this is where we are. And so I'm getting close on this end, because I think I just have this, the rest of this. Here, let's look. Wrong end. Yeah, so I've got the bunny done, so I just have to finish this, and then it'll be half done. It's a lot of stitching. It is a lot of stitching. So that was the second one that was called. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I could take it, I guess. I don't know. We'll see if I throw it in. I mean, I'm just driving, so I can throw in as many projects as I want. Okay, and then the last, let me make sure. So I do have I still have one spot on my wheel that is spin a mirror, and then I have one spot that's spin a full coverage. And then I added, I don't remember what else. Oh, I took my burst sampler off because I'm trying to do it daily, so I didn't figure it needed to be on the wheel. And so I'm just going to show you the box. This was this last year's Jingle Ball class from the Blue Flower. So I added this to my wheel. It hasn't been spun, obviously, because I've only spun twice, but I added that to my wheel. And then the only other thing added to my wheel was a new start. So I might, if it gets spun, I'll decide. But if it's before Valentine, I might start that one. It's the latest, and it has this cottage garden thread that's gorgeous. Right, cottage garden, yeah. Okay, so that is all my whips and plans, and I'm sorry I keep shaking the table. So all that's left is haul, and I don't have a lot. I have a couple of auto ships. So this is from the Silver Needle in Tulsa. I got their auto ship for this. So this is the Northern Cardinal, which is beautiful. I love how she adds some designs to these charts. And then my last of the Snow Globe series from Tiny Modernist. She has a new one coming out, I think in April, that says the word stitch, so I'm thinking about that. And then the rest is my, well, not all of the rest, because I have something else, but my Jingle Ball purchases. So this was the 2024, I didn't even do any shopping, so I went ahead and picked up that Bobble book, and then this past year's Bobble book. Oh, I can show you on the back, it has all the, so that's in there. And some of these you've probably seen. I know I've seen some Flosstube stitch some of these. That was last year's. And then I did pick up some Primrose Cottage from the Jingle Ball. I did pick up more Tiny Modernist, but they were digital, so I don't have anything printed out for them. Mary Mouse. I love this one, Robin's Christmas. My mom would have loved that one. She loves birds. Santa and You. How cute is that? And Winter Rules. And then my dad had given me some Christmas money. So I decided that I wanted to kit up something to stitch in memory of my mom. And like I said, she loved birds. So I already had this chart, Symphony of Friends, Cottage Garden Samplings. But it needed, so I bought fabric for it. And I got, picture this plus sand, 32 count sand. But then it needed a ton of overdyed. So that's what I spent the rest of my Christmas money on. So it needs a bunch of the Shutter Green for the leaves. And also kudzu, bunch of that. And luckily my LNS had enough in stock, because sometimes when you need this many, you have to order it so you get the same dye lot. So a bunch of kudzu for the leaves also, and then the tree itself is Havana, Skyworks Havana. It needed a bunch. So you don't need to see all of them against the fabric, but I don't remember what the called for fabric was, and I don't think my LNS had it, but we found this and thought they looked good on it. So that was kind of a Christmas gift haul. So that was fun. I need to send my dad a picture and show him what I did. So I will probably start this one when I finish the birth sampler for my granddaughter. That's my plan as of right now. We'll see, it might change. Okay, I think that's it. Make sure. Yeah, I think that's everything for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you at the beginning of March so you can see what I got done in February. All right, bye.